Hello everyone, welcome back to the main stage. We are going to start shortly, like now. And our next presenter in this block, and this block, we've been talking about major trends like AI and how employers think, and this kind of major trend or big overview thing that continues. And our next presenter has spent 15 years with Deloitte, mainly now responsible for the Central European skill-based approach and workforce transformation. At the moment they are working with 19 countries, and she told me that she's very proud of that they create meaning in this industry because they can help clients from the first step to the last step. And this is something that's kind of unique, and therefore they have a little bit better understanding about how this process and workforce transformation works in this industry. And please welcome on the stage Zuzana Kostiviarova.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Jobs are no longer describing how we are doing the work. That's a fact, right? This is something that organizations realized a few years ago, and we, as a Deloitte, we did a very nice research and report about it. So it's not anything new, and that's why many of the big companies and our clients are considering how to become a skills-based organization. So many of those are thinking how to start, where to start, how to proceed. It's not an easy task though. It's quite complex. It's quite a big exercise. And that is something that is holding them back, how to start. What we are always suggesting, like, forget about the whole elephant. You are not able to eat that at the dinner, right? Cut it into the pieces. Let's not implement the concept. Let's rather solve a problem, an issue you have within your organization. That's why many of our clients starting with the process of talent acquisition or skills-based hiring, if I may. Why is that? Actually, we have two reasons for that. One is that for one job posting, we have too many applicants, and the other one is for one job posting, we have too little applicants, right? That's why recruiters need to become more thinking out of the box, thinking about, okay, how am I going to choose out of many or find somewhere else? They need to start thinking, what do I really need to fill the gap? And this is actually what I will be talking about today. I will be talking about what is skills-based hiring, why it matters, what are the trends? What are the inspirations from the big brands? They already started the journey. And also some tips and tricks, how to start, where to start, and what could be the first steps. What I mentioned at the beginning, the technology, new technology, AI, they are exponentially changing the work we are doing. And that's why we are not able anymore to look at the job from the perspective of what is the agenda, what are the tasks they are doing. We need to look from the perspective, okay, what are the key skills, what are the critical skills we need for that job. That's why the skills are a new currency, new units, new way to forward of understanding which jobs will be there for the future and which jobs we need to make it sustainable for our organization. How you can look at it? Very simple. From the previous, as we were looking at the job from the job description, what are the requirements, what are the tasks, what is the agenda that the person or the position is doing, what is the experience needed, or what are the, let's say, certification or education needed. We completely need to redesign that. I'm doing this with my clients for many years now, let's say 10 years, why I'm doing this job architecture. The jobs are really moving really and changing really fast. So what was valid, let's say 10 years ago, how the accountant did their job 10 years ago, it's definitely not valid now. And it's not feasible to change it each and every year. It's just too complex. That's why we are kind of, let's put it this way, forgetting how it was done before, and we rather are looking at what is important from the perspective for the future. What are the skills that will be there for the future? What are the skills that they will not be there for the future because we don't need them anymore, because the technology, automation will do it better and faster than the people. So that's why we are now imagining the positions or the jobs based on the skills they need. But be careful, it's not only skills, it's also the potential, it's also the performance. So it's one of the components from our perspective which is evolving, which is new, and we need to take that into the consideration. So basically what it really means, it's from we are not looking for the roles to be filled, but we are looking at what kind of skills do we need for the future. We are not looking for the qualification, minimum qualification. We need to look at, okay, what are the core skills? What are the, let's say, soft skills that we need for the future? And also forget about the certification, the education certification, or the before experience, but let's rather look on what the person is capable to do and how can it be filled within our organization. And why it is important, why it is matter, why people and organizations are really towards this idea. It's quite simple, greater efficiency. What we found in our research, then 25 to 40% our organization able to it's a quicker time to hire KPI, which is amazing, right? They know that the person that is hired through the skills-based hiring, it's a better performer because in the mindset, they are not looking for the job, but they are looking from the skills they really would like to build upon. So that's why it's also performing better. The diversity is greater, diversity is better, and it's very important for many of our organizations. I will talk about it a little bit later. Also, we are able to improve the talent retention because, again, we are not looking at what is a job description or what is it, how we frame you from the job position, but also we are looking at your skills, at your critical skills, and how you can help the organization, not maybe only from the current perspective, what you are doing right now, but how you are able to contribute, how you are able to help us in the future. From the data we collected in 2022, there were already 28% of the companies, they are already doing skills-based hiring. There are 62% of the participants, they are considering it, meaning they are trying bits and pieces here and there, but at least they have some plan to do it. And also what we learned, that it's not only from the perspective of the organization, but it's also important from the perspective of the people. They really would like to be perceived, not maybe as accountant, but maybe somebody who is very good at, let's say, Python skill, because they are learning, they really would like to move to the other level. What are the skills-based hiring trends? What is it that others are already doing and making it very, very good and helping them to proceed in this field? I would start with embracing skills over degrees. That's not a new concept. That's something that Apple, IBM, or Accenture, they came up with this idea like a decade ago, right? They are really, really getting rid of the degrees. And for example, IBM, they said that they don't hire or based on, or they don't require 4 years college degree in many of their jobs, right? Which was bold at the beginning, back then, in 2017, I think it was. But now it's, I would say, a mainstream. As you can see, 52% of the respondents said that they are really freeing up this concept of looking for the education, degrees, or any kind of formal education, which we believe that it's opening the possibilities for us as recruiters to really look not from this one criteria, but also to find bigger opportunities, more opportunities out there on the market. Of course, there is, for a recruiter, what is the action step? Of course, you need to kind of discuss, maybe with the hiring manager, you need to kind of reassess whether you really need the degree, whether you really need it to be there. I imagine that for some of the positions that will definitely not disappear ever, but for some, maybe you can do any progress. IBM, for example, 50% of the IT jobs don't have the requirements of those college degrees, which might be something which they really are able to move forward. Another one, it's prioritizing soft skills. We all know that hard skills are quite important, functional skills are really important, but you as a recruiters, you already said that 92% of you believe that soft skills are also important. And almost 90% of you are saying that if there is a bad hiring, that's basically because the soft skills are missing. So that's quite clear what and how we need to focus on our interviews or through the whole talent acquisition process, where to focus. I understand that it's harder, that it's more complicated. Maybe it's more complicated also on the back end to discuss with hiring manager what I need to do. What are the key soft skills I need to look at, right? How am I going to assess those? But those are the critical and important factors to really make sure that you are hiring the right person, specifically when you are hiring for the manager or leadership positions. Another topic will be AI technologies. And I think that we already touched upon that in the previous sessions, and I believe that the whole conference is a bit about that. So what we believe that technologies and AI can really help you with assessing the skills, with even thinking, okay, what are the future skills for that concrete job needed for the future? So be bold. It's not about only ATS, it's also about other technologies and other solutions which can help you navigate you through which skills for the future, for that concrete job could be needed, maybe are critical, and how to really assess the applicants, the candidates towards those skills. AI and technology can be a really great contributor to that. Another topic, and this is something that is rapidly changing in the past 2 years, it's how to support, as a recruitment, the capability, HR capability of strategic workforce planning. From our clients, what we are hearing, like, okay, how the future workforce will look like? How many people we will have in 2030? Is the organization going to shrink for the future? Probably not. But what is certain is that we definitely will not be doing the work we are doing today the same way. Some of the positions, some of the jobs will be shrinking, but there will be new positions, new skills. And finally, many of our clients, many of the organizations out there are starting to think from this perspective. And they know that how we did the strategic workforce planning, like simply look at the jobs and maybe with some coefficient calculated what could be the future, it's not valid anymore. You need to really understand which skills you have and which skills you will need for the future. Using and leveraging the AI and the technology, you will be able to uncover the gaps, and also working with the strategic workforce planning team and the recruiters together, understanding what are those skills that I need to buy from the market. Very much important. We really see that this is happening. This is more and more visible on the market. Skills-based hiring for the diversity, equity, and inclusion, that's, I would say, a no-brainer. So, for example, when we did a project for one of the biggest GB's organization there in Bratislava, they had a very nice figures and very nice ratio from the diversity perspective within the organization. The only department which was struggling was IT. No surprise there, right? So what we did, we tried skill-based hiring for the IT positions. We really thought through what are the skills for the future IT that will be needed. And based on this new approach, we were able to hire or to double the women's population in the IT department. It's still not at the level we wish it's there, but it helps really a lot. Another topic, quite again important and interesting, is how we are able to recruit from the skills-based perspective for the innovation. Let's consider Google or even our organization. We are intentionally hiring different skills and different experience to our teams, to our departments, just to make sure that we are innovative enough, that we are able to have a different perspective, different mindset towards what we would like to achieve. This is something which maybe you can also reconsider talking to your hiring manager. Are those skills that are already there in the organization enough? Do we need to reconsider? Are we able to bring something different that is going to make the change? Another one, I would say, and this is very fresh, this is from our last Deloitte Human Capital Trends report, and it's about experience gap. When I'm talking about AI and how AI is going to change the work we do, many of the clients are asking, okay, but what we are going to do with university students, how we are going to employ people out of the universities. They don't have any experience. And from the report and from the research, we are seeing that many of the companies are trying to hire juniors with 2 or 3 years experience, right? So how we are able to cover this experience gap? And what we are saying, okay, and this is maybe the example of Intel. They pick 65 jobs, and they say, okay, let's get rid of the former experience. Let's get rid of the certification and former education, and let's look at the skills they need. Of course, people, younger generation, they are very good and mature in digital skills. So let's try to use those skills, they are mature already enough, and let's put them in our organization and see what happens. I have a very nice example of one of the bank there in Czech Republic. They are having this young mindset board, and they actually link one of the students to the board member to make sure that they are opening their eyes from the perspective, okay, how young generation is thinking. Why you are printing that paper, right? It's not cool anymore. You're sent an email, nobody reads that anymore, right? So what are the perspectives of this young generation to really help us on, in the organization to really adapt to the more modern world? So I heard the colleague before me, he was saying, will recruiters still have a job, right? What we are saying, it's not only that the recruiters will have a job, they will have also AI agent and AI help and technology help at their hands, but they will become much more important than ever before. Think about it from your perspective. How big is the opportunity to really shift the mindset, to really shift the way you are looking at the hiring process right now, and how big difference it can make for the organization? Where to start? I think that it's very important for you to understand what are the skills gap. It's either from the, as I said already, strategic workforce planning, but also from your hiring managers, from the board. Where is this company going, and what is that we are missing from the skills perspective? How we are then going to draft the job description? if needed anymore. How we are going to proceed towards, okay, what is it that it's really needed and I need to look after when look for when I'm looking at the candidates or applicants, right? And then, last but not least, how am I going to proceed choosing the right person? How the experience should look like? What is it that I will do as a hiring manager? How I will interview the person? What are the key topics I'm going to apply? Are there any technology that could be used to really assess the best fit for the need for the organization? Those are the things you need to rethink for maybe even each of the job family or each of the job to really make sure that you are hiring best fit for purpose or best candidate for the job. So how will you reimagine your recruiting experience? What will you change? How will you reconsider how to look and how to proceed with the skills-based hiring? We are really happy to discuss this over a workshop we will have tomorrow with my colleagues tomorrow morning. Thank you very much.